All right, today we're diving into James Clear's mega bestseller, Atomic Habits. This is a book that's really built on one single idea. But it's an idea so powerful, it can pretty much explain everything: why we fail at our goals, and more importantly, how we can finally succeed. And it all starts right here. And this, right here, is the core promise of the entire book. It's not about making some huge, life-altering change overnight, not at all. It's about the incredible, hidden power of doing tiny, consistent things over and over again. But this isn't just some feel-good theory. For the author, it was literally a survival strategy that came from a totally unthinkable accident.
Yeah, you heard that right. To really truly get the philosophy of this book, you have to understand the author's absolutely brutal origin story. You see, for James Clear, the ideas in Atomic Habits weren't just some abstract theories he cooked up. No way. They were the only tools he had to piece his life back together after a truly catastrophic event.
So when he was in his sophomore year of high school, a stray baseball bat hit him square in the face. And the damage, it was just catastrophic. Look at this list. This isn't just medical jargon. This describes an injury that should have, by all accounts, ended his dreams of being an athlete right then and there. And here's the really important part. There was no miracle recovery. There was no single moment of triumph. His journey from that hospital bed all the way back to becoming a top college athlete, it was a slow, painstaking, almost invisible process. It was built on tiny, seemingly meaningless habits. Things like just keeping his room tidy or making sure he went to bed on time. These little things gave him a sense of control, and slowly, they started to compound into this incredible success. So that incredible comeback story, it's actually the foundation for the mathematical heart of the book, what he calls the power of 1%. This is the idea that takes his personal experience and turns it into a universal principle that really any of us can use.
And before Clear even wrote about this, a guy named Dave Brailsford was using this exact idea with the British cycling team. For nearly 100 years, they were just mediocre. But then he came in and had them improve absolutely everything by just 1%. The design of the bike seat, the grip on the tires, even the pillows they used for sleeping. And the result? Complete and total domination of the sport.
And this is where the math just gets wild. Because this 1% idea, it cuts both ways. If you get just 1% worse every day for a year, you basically decline to almost nothing. But if you can manage to get just 1% better each day for a year, get this, you end up nearly 38 times better than when you started. That's not just a small improvement, that's a mind-blowing transformation. This is the staggering power of compound growth, but applied to your daily life. Okay, so this graph shows you exactly what we're talking about. You can see the two lines, right? Those bad habits, they just pull you down, down, down. But the good habits, see how they start off slow? It looks almost flat at first, and then they hit that curve and shoot straight up into exponential growth. But that flat part at the beginning, that is so, so important. Clear calls it the valley of disappointment. And we've all been there, right? It's that super frustrating period where you're putting in the work, you're going to the gym, you're eating right, but you're just not seeing the results you want. And this is the exact moment where most people give up, literally right before that curve is about to take off. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, the one we've all asked ourselves 100 times. If this stuff is so powerful, why is it so dang hard to stick with the good habits and so easy to fall back into the bad ones? Well, the book argues it's because our entire approach is just wrong. See, according to Clear, the problem isn't you. It's not about your motivation or your willpower. The real problem is your system. We are all obsessed with the finish line, with the goal, but we completely ignore the path that actually gets us there. Let's just break this down real quick. A goal is the result you want. I want to lose 20 pounds. A system is the process that leads to it. I will walk for 30 minutes every morning. See, goals are great for setting a direction, but it's the systems that actually get you there. This is such a brilliant point. Think about it. Every single team in the league wants to win the championship. Every person applying for the job wants to get it. So if everybody has the exact same goal, then the goal itself can't possibly be what separates the winners from the losers. It has to be the system. And boom, here it is.
This might be the most powerful sentence in the entire book. It's not your ambition that determines where you end up. It's your daily processes. You don't rise up to meet your goals. You fall back on the strength of your systems. But you know what? There's actually one level even deeper, even more important than this. And this is where we get to the absolute soul of atomic habits. Because it turns out, the most effective way to change your habits is to stop focusing on what you do and start focusing on who you want to become. So Clear lays it out like an onion, right? You've got these 3 layers of change. On the outside, you have your outcomes, the what, like losing weight. In the middle, you have your processes, the how, your actual habits. But at the very core, the deepest layer, is your identity, the who. This is what you believe about yourself. So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, most of us, we start from the outside and try to work our way in. We focus on the outcome, I want to lose weight. But the approach that really sticks, it starts from the inside and works its way out. You start with who you are. I am a healthy person. The goal is no longer about chasing some result. It's about simply acting in alignment with who you already are. And this example from the book just nails it. Think about the difference. Saying I'm trying to quit implies you are still a smoker who is fighting an urge. But saying I'm not a smoker, that's a statement of identity. It's just not part of who you are anymore. The behavior just naturally follows the belief. Okay, so let's bring all this home. How do you actually do this? How do you go about building a whole new identity for yourself? Well, it's actually this beautifully simple 2-step process. First, you just decide what type of person you want to be. Not what you want to achieve, but who you want to become. A writer, an athlete, a person who is always on time. And then, step 2, you just start proving it to yourself with tiny little wins. This right here is the key. This idea of casting a vote is a total game changer. Every single time you go for a run, you're casting a vote that says, I'm a runner. Every time you sit down and write 1 page, you're casting a vote for, I am a writer. These small votes, they just add up and up over time until the evidence becomes undeniable and your identity actually shifts for good. And really, that's what this entire book leaves you with, this one ultimate question. It's not about what you did last year or what you hope to achieve next year. It's all about the votes that you're casting for yourself today. With every single tiny habit, who are you becoming?